getting famous, for instance, is not necessarily like a hard thing because, for instance, you could do something really bad and get famous.
Whip your out.
But that's not what you want to do, dude. Oh, God, where am I at? Oh, man.
Whip your out on live TV and you're famous.
Yeah, what kind of podcast is this?
It's easy to go viral.
What kind of podcast is this?
This is the best one. You signed up for this.
Hey, man,
the fucking logo is a trash can,
This is a breakdancing podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dumpster Fire. I am Kurt the Hurt, your personal tour guide through this calamity. I'm here with my boy, Livic. This is, of course, Noise of the Broke Boys podcast. Before we get started, please hit the like and subscribe button. Post a comment. Tell me what your favorite episode is. Let's get into this. Today, I have a special guest. Bboy is, a.k.a. Dae Dae, from the legendary DSD1 crew, the dance band. What else you got?
I mean, that's cool, David.
Just David,
I mean,
just regular.
I got a normal name, I guess.
You really do have a really regular name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Dude, I'm glad you're here. We've been friends together. We've been crewmates. I looked up to you. We've been rivals as well before. We've been all of the above. So I'm glad to have you here because I think there's a lot to talk about. You're obviously a very creative person. Being a b-boy, being a musician, all sorts of things like that. Let's just get into this. Bro, how did you really get into dancing? I'm really curious about this.
Man. Well, so obviously my brothers do this too.
B-boy Sky, B-boy River.
Yeah.
Shout out to both of them.
So when I started, I was like 14, 15. I couldn't even do a handstand when I started. And back at that time, we had already done a lot of like athletic stuff still.
Okay.
My brothers were a little more athletic than me for sure. And they started doing, I got to give shout outs to Style Elements on this. They came out with that video. And basically after that, and then there was also like that movie, Only the Strong. So the capoeira and the poses and all that stuff was like still like super like cutting edge to us at least. And like there was a history even beyond that where my oldest brother, who didn't actually do the dance with us, my oldest brother Donnie, he used to actually break dance. And I don't know if you know like Cricket, Beto.
Yeah.
Well, they used to dance together.
Oh, okay.
And so like this history goes back to that. But like so Bobby also did the dancing stuff back then too.
Yeah.
And so when it came down to like say around that time where like Style Limits, that video came out, they had like Mr. Rags over in like Modesto or whatever. So like Bobby used to work out there, and so all that stuff kind of came to play in like an exposure or whatever, basically. So they started doing it, and I think for about a year or two, they started before me, and I didn't actually like do it, but I thought it was cool, of course. And I remember there was a time where Paul was like, well, just like try to do a handstand, and like I did, and
Did you eat shit?
I didn't fall, but I wasn't like good at it. Like I was.
You were hungry for the shit, but you didn't get the buffet.
It took some time. I had to condition myself. Word. And like, but like, you know, it's funny, we were in Manteca, and so like not a lot of people were doing it out there. Yeah. And we used to do it like on the side of the street, Louise Avenue, and like
street shows?
Yeah, well no, we would just like bring the linoleum out there. There's a little bench on a trail, and we would just like break right there. And like it drew attention. People would drive by or honk their horn, or like we were on the newspaper one time because it came out. Like, but that was like right before. I'm kind of going a little deeper in the story, that was right before like when we actually like you asked about the birth of DSD1. Okay. So I was gonna say is there was a rivalry with like people in Stockton, a lot of that, and we were like branded, we were competitive, and basically Alex was one of those people.
That's Reflex.
Yeah. And it came to a point where it was like so bad. It was like, hey, let's put this stuff behind us. And they were like, enter a jam. So they entered a competition in Palo Alto. That's how we met Kelly or Fury and
Fury.
Chalk Conflict and all them. And that's basically how that all came about. But it was like, we started off just as brothers, like Manteca, just trying to be competitive in our first year, but little exposure to like anyone outside of like going to little practices in Stockton. And
So
stuff.
was that your first big jam that you guys went to, or?
They did. I never even competed by that time. They did a couple competitions like in SAC, I think, where like places where like E-Rock, Mike Boogie, and all those guys would be in there. So yeah, I mean, they'd seen like a couple, but yeah, that was like maybe the third jam. And like really at the end of the day, like the one thing that really sold it, I think, at the end of the day, because it wasn't a lot of experience. It was more so just like that heat that was already there, that fire as far as like being competitive. We already had that with sports and being brothers. Like we were at each other's necks. So it was like when we stood up, it was like, let's go. And it never died. Like,
Yeah, so you always had like kind of a competition between your brothers and stuff. I mean, I guess that's down.
That's kind of
down
seemed
since
like
day one.
Yeah.
You guys were always down since day one.
Yeah, to some degree, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll say, okay, so then I guess you met up with those guys and then basically created the DSD1, and then built the legacy from there, right? I mean, obviously, there's some major events that you guys came in and kind of just wreaked havoc at. Trying to think of some of them, like Out for Fame.
Yeah.
I remember, well, you weren't there. It was Little Aaron, I think, was there instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel like DSD1 has such like a crazy history because like such a big influence on the scene, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even through a lot of people don't know, but your brothers created a lot of original like routines.
You guys were very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was routines,
and it was blow up time at that time when you guys.
Oh yeah.
So it was you guys were very influential and on your style and moves. So I agree with that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that in competition, let me put it like this. I made a little post the other day, and I was like, there's two types of love. There's harmonious, and then there's challenging. And there are people that can like approach that with hate to be challenging. They can approach with hate, but at the same time, there are people that challenge you because they want to make you grow. They actually want to see that. I think it needs to be in balance. I don't think like that should be just like pushed on someone, like, but to some degree, it's when we would literally like go out to a competition in like LA and and like we'd practice all night. It'd be like 6 a.m. and we got to be there by 2 or 3.
I feel like I trained with you guys a couple times like that. Like, geez, this is crazy.
And Paul would be at like Bobby's neck, and then Bobby was like, "Oh, screw this, I'm not going." And then be like, "Come on, Bobby, let's go." And then like we'd just hop in the car, and then Alex would be there too. He'd be involved, and then like there some crazy stories. Like Alex, I told him the other day, he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to LA." I'm like, "Dude, whatever you do, don't drive in a lotus position and don't sit in the truck," because him and Christina are like notorious. We've taken trips. They rode in the trunk.
Oh, wow. I've done that a couple times. That is not a good. That's
crazy.
That's like 6 hours.
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's terrible.
That's crazy.
I never did that trip, but
oh my God.
Desperate things we used to do, right? Just to go to a jam.
To go to a jam. It was just from Sac to Oakland, but that was rough, dude. Fuck that shit, dude.
They asked me to do it. I was like,
go buy a
I
bigger
ain't gonna
car,
do
dude. Fucking, if you're out there doing that, don't do it.
Yeah.
First of all, you're probably gonna die. Second of all, it's not.
You're fucking.
It's against the law. And third of all, like, dude, have some respect. For
not
yourself.
if you're Reflex or Christina, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's a sign of the times, dude. That was like the things you would go through for the fucking love of the game. That's what it is,
dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like so much, man. Like that's.
No, we sacrificed, I think, at that time a lot. Yeah. And the reason why, I think, because we didn't have what we have now. we could see it on social media. And back then you had to go to a jam to go see B-boys or get inspired and have a different outlook of the dance. Yeah. And I think that's what's missing a lot in this culture. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think that we had our own form of what we call, say, social media. I think that I mean, we came up with our DVD, for instance. Yeah. Alex, props to him for editing and doing all that. Our DVD was in Australia and all over the world. That's how people became not just out for fame, but I mean, and that's why I kind of laughed not laughed, but that's why I kind of had my response to that. There were a lot of things that had influence in times, of course. And back then, yeah, that DVD, it was our going out, even to some degree, was our outreach and our outlet. Nowadays, while I could say that, like, sure, there's a lot of tools to get things out. It's also oversaturated. It's like I was like probably one of the first like 10,000 people on SoundCloud, and I got a good following on there. And not to say I couldn't today, but like it was really easy to do that when I first started, because like no one was on there. Like I literally moved to LA with somebody because they found me on SoundCloud. Like today though, like now it's
everybody's on there.
Yeah, it's like famous people are on there, like everyone. So oversaturation definitely has an effect on tools, social media, all that stuff like that. And it's still possible. You just have to have like, I think you just have to have certain elements that like make it really work. And we could go into like what those elements are.
Yeah, like the creative process.
What are they?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's oversaturated with podcasts.
Okay.
But so, this one is number one at being dope, but it's very far down on the low end of listens.
We're keeping it underground.
It's underground. Yeah, it's by design it's underground, but no, we're trying to bring it above ground, bro.
I would say beyond the I won't go into like the technical side. I think
you should. I think you should, because I think it's very important on the creative side, because you don't see no one trying to contribute no more, and they're downgrading the art.
I think that, well, I will touch on the technical side, but what I was going to say is that the to start being honest. I mean, if this is about expression and you're like touching people, you're getting people to like to really come in and like really feel what you're talking about or what you're doing. If I'm singing, if I can sing a word, but I'm honest. If I can do a move, but when I do it, I'm honest. Like I'm not from New York.
Honest expression, right?
I'm from where I'm from, and I have my life, and I do what I do. And if I'm honest about what I'm doing, and I'm doing it, and it's actually something like to be liked, I think that's a start, because now you have a product that's has some integrity.
Here,
that's not enough to sell it, but that's a product. Now it's a situation of getting it on the market. That's the technical side. So that's what I think it takes, is basically like, when you know how to approach something, and it's like, it's there, it's real.
So you're saying more like an art. So you have to market yourself. Is that what you're saying? Or you're saying more as a.
I don't think it's all just like black and white, or just like a one thing. I think there's multiple things that you do in order to get something going.
You're saying that first you need the quality product, then you need to show it to the people so that they can get it.
It's like you can put a generic brand of some soda on the floor or on the shelf, and sure, it may sell if you put a good label on it. It may sell just based upon where the real estate is on the shelves or whatever else. Yet once people do it, there's no trust, so the brand doesn't actually grow. Because people only grow to trust that it sucks. And
true.
When you find something great,
grape drink soda,
it might even be one with a bad label. But if someone found that little Easter egg and they're like, hey, but it might not grow so well, even though it might be like, dude, I just found this thing. It's like way down there, and it's like hard to see. But now that you try it, and you're like, dude, this is the best thing ever. So by word of mouth, it starts to spread, but it doesn't blow up still, because it don't spread fast enough.
Yeah.
So
it's a balance. You're saying it's like a balance between having, I guess, like building a maybe cult following sort of, and then also having the ability to get that out on a widespread so that you can actually slowly funnel people into your brand loyalty. Is that it?
I'm saying when I say marketing, I'm talking about the easiest way I could put it is like that analogy of the shelves. I learned this working at Target back in the day. Putting stuff on the shelves, it's real estate. So like companies pay more money to put something on what's at eye level versus low or high. Companies that have their own warehouses that do their own products, they put their stuff first in the aisle so they can actually build their own brands, and then they put Coca-Cola. So there is a thing where it's just basically placement. And if people pay for placement, people do certain things or they do wild extreme stuff, but it's like getting famous, for instance, is not necessarily like a hard thing because, for instance, you could do something really bad and get famous.
Whip your dick out.
But that's not what you want to do, dude. Oh, God, where am I at? Oh, man.
Whip your dick out on live TV and you're famous.
Yeah, what kind of podcast is this?
It's easy to go viral.
What kind of podcast is this?
This is the best one. You signed up for this shit.
Hey, man,
the fucking logo is a trash can, dude.
This was a breakdancing podcast.
This episode of Noise of the Broke Boys is brought to you by Child Support. Are you a deadbeat parent that hates your children and would rather buy Yeezys than pay your child support? Or maybe you enjoy seeing your children grow up to be mutated monsters because you couldn't afford nutritious meals since you spent their child support on new rims for your Ford Focus. Or maybe you received child support from your child's other responsible parent, but instead of buying your children warm clothes, you decided to buy a grill. Well, I'm here to tell you should open up your favorite Maps app on your new smartphone, purchase with your children's food money, and locate the nearest sewer treatment plant. Once located, get into your new BMW, purchase with your children's clothes money, and navigate to the destination. Once there, slip into your new silk swimsuit, purchase with your children's medicine money, and take a dip in the fecal-infested water and contract an incurable disease. For responsible separated parents, please remember to pay your child support in full and on time. For more information, please contact your local governing body. And now, on to the show.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, you can do some wild shit and get
It's like
famous.
subscribe to my only.
Hey man, there's b-boys that get naked and do freaking swipes.
Yo,
and freezes.
dude,
Hey, check out the Danny
did
Dibble
that.
Have you
episode. We
seen
talked
that?
all about that.
Bro.
That
Somebody
was crazy.
Somebody, I'm not even gonna say their name. You know, maybe they've grown and whatever. I'm gonna say the crew. I don't care. Somebody from Freak Show
Uh-huh. Yeah.
was battling us. There were
He
kids.
did it plenty of times.
Dude.
A lot of
Oh
times.
my God.
I was there the first time it happened. Yo,
I
Peep,
was there.
hey, Peep the
Flashbacks?
Peep the Danny Dibble episode 40. We talked all about this.
That's
So,
crazy.
Dude, this is insane. So,
yeah.
yeah.
It was like, here's the cock burn, and he's like, oh, I got a better burn. I'm gonna actually show the dick.
Oh my God.
That was crazy.
Oh my God.
Anyway, sorry for derailing that. I was just
Yeah.
It's easy to go viral, and but you want to have it, you know,
Have
I guess
a product to go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, if you're pushing something, you can push, sure. And people have done it, push bullshit, push mediocrity.
Yeah.
I've seen it plenty of times. People have bitten off of shit.
Yep.
Bitten off of my crew. You mentioned my brothers having routines, but there were a lot of moves that like my crew members did, like for the first time it was ever seen.
Yeah.
I give props to other people and like respect to other people that have like done for whatever they've done. I'm competitive, and at the same time, at the end of the day, like it's like you got to give credit where credit is due. And there's a lot of things, but at the end of the day, like it doesn't even come down to like me, my brothers, or any of that. Like, cool, the props. I'm getting ahead of your questions. Let me.
No, keep going.
Because you asked me a question earlier, and I want to make sure I answer.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Well,
you asked
state
about
the
an
question,
exit.
but then no.
Okay, so you asked me the question as far as like our exit, DSD1. We came and then we exited.
Well, I think the thing that I saw was like you guys were killing it, influencing the scene. I mean, you guys were seriously one of the top crews in this area in California. And then all of a sudden it was kind of like, we're done with this and bounced. And
isn't that when you guys went to Flex Flav?
It was like right after that, right?
Well, there's a funny story about that, but
we can talk about that if you want, but
I don't care.
No,
I really don't.
You know
care.
what I really want to talk about you know how you guys influenced a lot of like routines, and there's other people when America's Best Dance Crew and they started. I think, how did that feel, man? I think you should speak about that.
That was a slap in the face. That was a horrible slap in the face. We were gonna be on that show. We ABDC 3. We went out. We did the San Francisco audition. It was a 7 out of 8, and the last one was LA. So I'm not gonna mention their names for that sake. Basically, the top people that do that, casting director, one went on to do another big show or whatever. But like, one of the main like casting directors was there, and basically we did our audition, and they were like, "Oh my God, we've been to like 7 different of these already, and you guys are like by far the best that we've seen." And we're like, dude, they were like, we're gonna have fun. We're like, we're doing this. You guys are on. And so we're like, okay, like this is dope. And they're like, you're not just gonna be on the show, you're gonna win. And okay, like, so we got the contracts, everything. We're signing the contracts, like long contracts, and like, dude, do we really want to do this? Because we were doing that dance band thing at the time too.
Yeah, see, that's what I
so we
remember,
were already
dance
kind of
band.
like endorsing.
yeah, some of those
into-
contracts are crazy.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that I had to sign. I was like, yo, fuck this shit. This
Honestly,
is crazy.
like okay, you win the show and something you get. I'm not gonna go on the contracts either, but like it was not
like you don't own your
it
stuff
wasn't
at all. Yeah.
it wasn't lucrative as far as like financially. It was more like this could be like a cool exposure deal.
Yeah, exactly.
But we were doing like exposure moves anyways. So basically what happened was we got the contracts. We were just like, you know, we're going to do it. So we signed the contracts, send them in. And like 2 days go by and we're like waiting for the email back, confirmation, like, dude, we're about to be on MTV. We're young. This is like super cool to us.
Yeah.
And it's like, we regret to inform you. What happened was they put on Quest Crew, and they stole our damn moves. They stole a lot, like a lot of our moves. And obviously, you know, we know each other.
Yeah.
We were in a crew together.
Yeah.
So, I didn't appreciate that. We called them out before World of Dance was a TV show. They, of course, had the competition. So we went out to, I think it was San Mateo, and we battled Underground Flow. And those props to those guys, are super dope. But like we didn't hold back, and we just got down. And then the judges gave the battle to us, and Paul took the mic, and he, you know, respectfully, he was just like, hey, we're gonna forfeit our win. We're not here for that. We're giving it to Underground Flow, but we're just here to call out Quest Crew. And we went backstage, and Dietrich was like, oh, I don't want to talk or whatever. But like, we went backstage. That was a smack in the face. And we definitely played a good. I don't know if you caught that YouTube clip that we got some good traction on it or whatever. I want to say like 50,000 views or something. Back then, it was cool for us. But we made a YouTube clip, and it was funny because we went to LA and we met with Dietrich before all the beef like was all out in the open.
Shout out to Dietrich.
Yeah, shout out to Dietrich.
All right, let me take.
He's
that
my
back.
dude.
I'm sorry. We can cut this out too.
No, that's fine.
I don't want to hate.
No.
Fuck you, Dietrich. We're talking all the shit
But
until you come on.
You know what though? Seriously, it's not even like a hate thing, because at the end of the day, people get influenced, but there is like kind of a disrespect when people steal.
No, yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So it was kind of like disheartening. But at the end of the day, I still don't like if I see like if he posted something, I wouldn't like that. But at the end of the day, it's like I would not ever like. I think he's still a person, and I got nothing but good wishes for him. So I hope all is well. It's just on the dance side, there's a very like fine line where I actually like take something personal. For the most part, like I get along with Abe. Well, in my opinion, like I've talked to him for hours on the phone.
Shout out to Abe.
Shout out to Abe.
I hit you up. Come on the podcast. You denied it. Fuck you.
See?
Nah, man, come through.
Come through.
Nah, I hope he's doing well.
I'm a hater, but I'm not a hater. We can have a good conversation.
Well. But I get along with him, and I respect him. There are people, and he's like one of probably the biggest rivals in the history of DSD1.
Yeah, Flex Flav versus DSD1
Everybody.
was like every gen.
Everybody.
Renegades were like there. They got my respect too. Like I talked to a lot of them. They're
Soul
super
Control
cool.
too.
Yeah.
Soul Control, dude. I'm friends. Well, I'm cool with a lot of them, and yeah, I'm gonna throw a shout out. A lot of those guys are really dope. Cujo, Eric, Mega Man, like all those guys. One person I will say that I in my earlier years at least that I would say like kind of was like more when I was super early in it, like was influential to me, was Eric.
Yeah.
And I give that guy, I give him props. I have no problem saying who like the people that I've been inspirations, you know, to me. Cujo was too, honestly, but I just wasn't that strong.
Cujo is literally top 10 b-boy of all time.
Oh my God.
I don't give a fuck. Battle me if you think wrong.
Holy shit. Yeah, that guy was
Battle me if you think wrong.
Yeah.
He's a legend, dude.
Unless Cujo calls you and he's like, I want to battle you.
Yeah, Cujo's like, I'm not top 10. I'm going to battle you. No,
I'm 11. What's up?
Let's chill out. Let's chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
No, but the reason I say that is like, if he never had braked, the scene would be way different. Think about it. Like, his style was so transformative that, like, I don't think you would have a lot of the floats that are there. A lot of these crazy transition. Definitely the strong style would not be as developed as now. I mean, I don't think... I would argue that breaking would be different.
I think that when you look at moves and you look at, say, like difficulty of moves, what's possible. I'll tell you right now, I'll be 37 within a month. I can still do some stuff. I'm capable. I'm doing my little workout stuff and whatever. I'm capable of being better than I ever was today. And I'm capable of being better than a lot of people. Or depending on a person's preference and thoughts on what better is. It's an art. So, but I'm capable of being better in my own point of view. What I would be matching, though, is not necessarily like the idea that I'm coming up with a new move. And I've come up with moves within the past 2 weeks after quitting for like however long I have, years. It's easy to come up with a new concept. I have new concepts that still haven't been done, and so do other people in the crew. But the part where I think it really matters is it stems not just from like sitting down and trying to think of like, how can I do a handstand differently or do it something different than this person or what's not been done. It's more like it's that energy. It's that being in person that you are. Like, I'm not from New York, so I don't walk out like, hey, B, I'm from New York, or however my New York accent sucks.
Let's go down to the bodega.
It's true. It's true. We got to represent where we're from.
I move.
Yeah.
I move how I move. So like, if I feel, say, an aggression, then that's how I practice. That's why I'm gonna like do something explosive, because it's like that's what I feel. I'm not just trying to do a move. I'm literally trying to do something that you feel. And I think Cujo, like, he come out there and do like his stuff, but he had a character, but I mean, he would fool me if that's not who he really is, or at least at the time, because we also grow and evolve. I'm a different person today than I was 10 years ago. So I'll have a different style, and that's why I say I think I'd be better today because I've grown.
As a person.
Exactly. I would come with something different because I'd be more, I plan to do it. But what I plan to do is basically show who I am today, and I think that I'm a stronger character than I was 10 years ago. And I don't plan to be I plan to be humble and nice, but I don't plan to be shaking hands. I plan to bring some fucking beef.
Hell yeah.
And fire people up to beat my ass. Because that's what's going to make this culture grow. It's bigger than me. That's what it's about.
Interesting.
That's good, because I think we need that. I think it's very not tough love, but when we started, it was tough love. They actually pushed us because we had rivalries, we had battles, and now it's like everybody knows each other, everybody wants to be friends, I think. And what motivates you grow, it's actually the downfall of it. Like, damn, I just got smoke. I'm gonna go smoke him next time I see him. So I think we need that more.
There was I think more weight to everything too. You know, like, because I feel like now it's all about what your clout is or whatever, what fucking jam you're rocking at or whatever. But back then it's like, dude, no one even really cared about the jam. It was like, oh, we want to battle that crew. We're coming out for these guys. And fucking the weight of that was all you cared about. And then the weight of, you know, so if someone's calling you a biter, you're like, oh, I can't sleep tonight because I need to fucking call them out and freaking prove that I'm not a biter. You know what I mean? But nowadays it's not like that.
What do you think about that, about biting now? Like how it was back then and how it's now?
So I don't follow like to the point that I know like the scene. I follow to the point that I see what's dope, and props to like a lot of people, because I'm gonna say that like I saw a shift in breaking where, again, I'm not gonna mention a name, but somebody was judging a jam that comes from a well-known crew, one of the most well-known crews, gave some advice or opinion, and I watched like the entire judging scene change around like 2003, 2004. Made breaking super boring because not everybody was a foundation guy anyways, and I saw a lot of boring footwork. I watched you come up. I watched you get better at what you do. And you were younger generation, and also props to you, both of you guys. You guys are really dope in my opinion. But I've watched you actually come and actually like develop and become good at that. There were some people that they didn't have it, but they were still talking about it. Like, oh, I did a 6-step to a 7-step. So, you know, like, and then I got up and took my legs and closed them. So I'm the shit because I threw my hands out.
And you're saying that you think that stemmed from, I guess, like, kind of a shift in how people judged or how they saw the scene because of a couple influential people. I think there was some
influential people that changed it.
I for sure agree with that, because I definitely think because the scene is so competition oriented, everyone wants to win the competition. So now, like, we all just look at what's going to win the competition, and guess who's controlling who's winning those competitions? It's some judges. It's really a handful of maybe like 50 people on a worldwide scale. All the really big jams, it's all these same people, right? And so the goal now is to impress those 50 people, right? So your style, if you want to win those jams, is going to converge a certain direction. And I think a lot of people want to do that. But I think breaking is only so small if that's your only goal. But breaking can be everything. I mean, because honestly, I don't give a fuck about those 50 people. I mean, they're dope, but honestly, if they told me I was whack, I wouldn't really lose sleep. I would be like, hey, whatever, I'll do my own.
We look at style elements.
Yeah.
And I recently called out crumbs, even though I'm not in full practice.
Wait, when did this happen?
Like a week ago.
Oh, for reals?
No, I did it on some internet stuff. But but I did it in a manner that I was like, you know what? It was just competition. It was a challenging thought. Now, would I battle him today? But give me 2 months? Sure.
Hell yeah.
Sure. It'll only push me, and even if I lose, I gotta lose. No.
Exactly.
So that'd be fun.
Exactly.
That's how I've always felt about it.
To be honest, that wouldn't be somebody I really, really care to battle. Like, who I wish we could have battled. I wish us three brothers, Paul, Bobby, and I, could have battled the Ground Zero brothers.
Hell yeah,
Damn,
dude!
that
I
would've
miss
been
those
dope.
guys, man. Those,
Yeah.
I loved watching
Yeah,
them. I mean,
Bboy, Zoo,
Boo Rock.
Exuberant,
Rock.
and Boo
And they were
Rock.
dope. They were dope.
Dude, I loved it when they would come out because they were just so dope, and literally fucking everyone in the crowd just hated them, and they were like, feed me this energy of hate and I get better. It was so fucking
Yeah,
tight.
well,
to me.
that's what they were selling, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But did they bring the energy, or was it the crowd that pushed the energy on them?
I kind of think it was both, because like they would come out and they were haters, and
They
but
were.
and they were good.
Boo Rock wasn't that bad. Bboy, Zoot wasn't actually that bad.
Bboy
had
pushed a
little
lot.
attitude, but
I
Bboy
mean,
pushed a little. Or yeah, Bboy pushed it a lot.
I mean, they were they knew how to get people like riled up. It was like they would burn them and then freaking be like, "Hey, you suck," and then
Yeah, but they were solid. Look, they were solid. They had
no fear.
when I mention like having a quality product, if they are the product and they had a quality in that, and then they were good at putting themselves on the market. They were throwing jams. They were going places. Like, they were making themselves there. They could have easily just been a crew sitting up in, say, Fresno or Modesto or Stockton or here, and only stayed here. But they did step out. What I will say is I never saw, maybe they did, but I never saw them go like international.
I seen Bboy do a couple of them. They did Battle of the Year like 2003 or something, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that was a pretty
And now,
controversial.
baby,
I think.
he's just DJing.
I think
So-
they just DJs.
I
I don't know
last
what
I
the
saw
other two are up
Zoob
to.
was, I mean, it's been probably 5 years, but I saw Zoob, he had an Instagram, and I saw he was still posting, like, he had some pretty cool, more advanced shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I loved
think they're
all
still
three
active.
of those guys.
They're still, but I don't know. There's some. Burak took off his Instagram. He had an Instagram.
The thing I always liked about them was, and it's the same thing with you three brothers too, is that you guys had such different styles. And like, if I didn't know any better, it was like you guys were not related or anything. You developed your style, you know, away from all of them. And then when you're next to each other, you guys got so good chemistry. And that's the same thing with the Ground Zero guys.
I'll tell
It's like
you
they're
about
all
that.
different, and then they come together and they're so dope
Yeah.
together too.
I'll tell you about that. That was that. So I said, we would sit in that garage.
Yeah.
You fucking suck. Oh, that's a bite.
Yeah.
There was no getting by with doing shit. You're not doing my shit. You're not doing Bobby's shit.
Yep.
You fucking suck. We're
Yeah.
this, we're that. Or sometimes it's dope. But a lot of times there was a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And then we go somewhere and we're standing there and we're fucking lions. It's time to
Yeah.
eat. We're brothers. Like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is love. When it comes to that, it was ready to go to war.
Yeah.
So that's that fire, and that's that energy that like that makes us, I think, do like great shit. Now, at the same time, does it have to be that like, oh, ready to? That's just us. So like some people, maybe they're just like, dude, got a big smile on face. I love what you do. You love just hella humble and just like, let's just have a good time. And that can be dope too. I just think that as long as people are honest in themselves, and sometimes we feel different ways in different days.
That's true.
My style changed a lot over the years. They've changed from jam to jam sometimes just because I felt being funny one day.
I remember you put
Like-
a wig on and ended up like a freaking B-girl battle.
I remember that too.
That was hell
Oh
fun.
my god!
But that was like back then. People were doing some wild stuff.
Yeah. Dude, that's
forgot
freaking
about that,
hilarious.
dude.
But
Yeah.
see, dude,
Oh
people
my
don't do
God.
that anymore. I mean, that shit's funny to me.
Fuck.
Just having fun and like,
And I did that lift up and took the
Yeah,
wig
but you
off.
took it
oh
off.
my god! Fuck! Why you gotta remind me? No, whatever.
dude, that was legendary. I was watching that.
But see, that's the
so
whole point. You did something that you enjoyed, and you were having fun.
I wore a cowboy hat, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's just it's fun.
You gotta have fun. Why are you
It's
doing
fun,
it?
and then there's the side where we push ourselves to do like greater.
yeah.
And obviously people at the end of the day are going to take that stuff more serious. I've seen people that I've influenced for sure. Yeah. And I appreciate when I feel that like that influence has been taken on as something that's just like not something that's been just like taken and stolen trying to be me, but like taken on as something that's like gonna be their own to grow. Like maybe I can listen to how they like take on information and evolve and adapt to like what I'm hearing, or at least like take that in like consideration as far as like, okay, like dope, like this is from a different perspective, seeing a point of view. And I've done that myself. I've taken shit. I'm not like everything I've ever touched hasn't been done. I didn't create a damn 6-step or certain dance steps, like, but what we do is we bring a certain energy with that shit. And that's something that I don't think, yeah, people can try to like duplicate, but it's never as good when it's raw. That's the truth. Like, it's like, I don't care.
It's a feeling, man. It really is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at a point right now in my dance where I used to think about moves all the time. Now it's more about me feeling. Like, you know, when you could do tops and you're not thinking, I want to do the same thing when I break. And I'm at that point where I'm at that right now.
Yeah.
So it's more of a feeling than I want to just, it's dope doing blow ups, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But you have to have that feeling where you enjoy it, and even when you express it.
I chop that up to, you know, what you were saying before is being honest about it. When you're honest about something and you're honestly expressing it, it looks natural. That's the way it should be there. Now, the trouble we come to is when we're trying to get a new move, we're trying to get a new like concept or something, that's foreign to us, right? And so when we're out there trying to dance,
you're saying you particularly, or
no, just
what do you mean?
Anybody,
okay,
right? So like,
I think it's easy to come up with a new move.
No. Well, okay. So how about air flare? Is it easy for you to come up with air flares?
So that's not new. Oh, I got you. So you're saying things
like
a
new skill you don't have right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's hard to do that, right? And then come up with concepts like that, right? So you have to train really hard to do that, right? Now, the thing that happens though is if you're not 100% comfortable with that and you're out there dancing, you're not going to be able to honestly express it, I think. And so I think what Livik was saying is you need to train it such that now this becomes second nature to you. Yeah. And now you don't need to worry about it. And you can instead focus on music, focus on just the feeling, focus on the moment, and it will naturally come out. And now this move that you've worked on for so long has become like part of you. And so you can now honestly express yourself using that new vocabulary.
Exactly.
Right?
Like you're conditioned to be physically free.
Yeah.
And in perfect word vocabulary, because like having expanded ability to communicate is going to give you more option to express. So that I 100% agree with, and I agree with what you're saying too. And if I add on that, I would just say that it's like doing a blow up or call a set, say like a set, like you're going to go out, you're battling, you're in a jam. Sure. It's like, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, and do that. Strategizing, that's like totally cool. And I think that's like pretty typical, like what would be done in a battle. And it works. You can still put your energy into the things that you're going to do. I think in practice, when you're practicing, it's good to practice the things you know, but also then break off from that and go, maybe you have a thought and then you want to try what your thought is. Yeah. Sometimes you just have a feeling. Yeah. Like I might be like, man, fuck this motherfucker. And I'm just going to start moving. And this is what I come up with. And oh shit, what did I just do? Yeah, that's the new move.
From a freestyle, that's exactly. Like you're just not thinking and it just happens.
I look at it, there's two different ways to practice and you need both. There's one where it's like the creativity practice where you're just playing around with stuff. It really is just more playing around, really. You have an emotion and you're going, let me just throw it out on the floor and see what the hell happens. And then the other type of practice is like a performance practice. You need to clean up everything you have and make it so it's presentable, and you need to train it so that this is like second nature to you. It comes out, you can freestyle, and you know that this move is going to hit every single time. So there's like, that's like your skill practice and then your creativity practice. And you really need both to be good, I think.
I was going to ask you, how you said it's easy to create moves. Can you expand on more on that? Like saying, thinking out of the box?
Okay. There was a move that I came up with. I saw a guy do it maybe 10 years after I did. He was from Brazil, and he did it at the Sweet 16 thing. This is going from air chair and just jumping off the air chair because you're using momentum. So I understand the mechanics of my body, and when I have that freedom to do so, and that's the way that I knew how to move. It was like I'm ambidextrous too, so I could jump from this arm and go literally from the air chair all the way up and catching a handstand on the opposite arm. Now, what I would like to do is be a little more arched or whatever, but in thinking about it, so I just come up with this thing that I just said. What if I jumped up and rather than trying to arch over, if I could whip this leg, my right leg, and try to twist under, and this is insane, it's probably like not likely possible, but again, if you keep trying, you expand that vocabulary. So the catch is like thinking of shit that's not been done. It's possible because you just start thinking of different things that, certainly you know how to move in certain ways. You do footwork. So could you possibly do a 6-step without ever touching your damn feet on the ground? It's possible because people can do flares. And to some degree, I've seen people kick their legs and shit. Could you go halfway but then turn your body a certain way, or turn that into some weird ass hollow back that then reverses into a halo the other way, and then air baby and fucking whatever? Like, you can think of shit just for days.
Yeah.
And
exactly. And it's crazy that people are not doing it, man.
Well, there are some people that are doing some dope shit. I give props to a lot of people I see, but not everyone.
You know,
exactly.
I was thinking the key to it, at least the way that I approach it, is you want to learn your body as best as you can, right? And so as you learn your body, you understand what your body can do. So it allows you, it opens up new doors of what you can try, and it opens your mind up to those new things. And then that's like really that's most of the time how I create stuff. It's like I'm just continually building on something just from knowing my body better.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually expand myself like on creativity through math or timing. I do a lot of like, if I have enough time to, like saying you do a CC, but saying you take a picture, you know how it has so many pixels? I look at every single pixel and I have enough timing to do another move between that pixel.
Okay.
So sometimes when I create, that's only when I'm thinking, but like saying I see a move, I'll be like, oh, this move is dope. How can I expand on it? And sometimes I put math. I'll be like, if it takes me 3 times to get to do that little step, maybe let me add a number 4 step.
Yeah.
So, or let me just go to the right. So
Yeah.
I try to think way more out of the box in shapes and I
like
think
pocket space and fundamentals, and then also like, of course they ain't got to be fundamentals, but that's dope.
yeah. So I think I don't know. I just wish it was like how when we started, man, when we go to a jam and everybody's original. Why isn't it like that no more? And that's what inspired me. Now I go to a jam and it's like
half the people break the same.
I was gonna ask, when's the last time you guys can recall seeing like a real good exhibition match, or 2 crews that people, or 2 b-boys that people are really like fucking fired up to see like go at it?
rare, man.
Dude, it's rare. Well, I mean, the one I remember, and this is probably not even a great example of it, is like, what jam was that? It was a fucking one of the ones in Texas that Moy and them threw, but Jeffro battled. He called out the judges, and that was one of the only battles I've seen in recent memory where it was like, I don't care about the competition. I'm just battling you guys because I disagree.
Yeah.
And honestly, the scene lost their mind. They lost their goddamn mind because they were watching this battle going, oh
That's
my
normal
God.
to us.
It's there's a scene. They ruined the scene. It's so disrespectful. Blah blah.
Oh
Shut
my
up,
God,
dude. It's a fucking regular ass battle. I mean,
That's
I
the shit
battled
that
you guys when I was
pushes
younger,
us.
and it was like way more intense than that. And like no one lost their mind because that same battle was happening over there too, between two other crews too. You know what I mean? And I look at that and going, oh yeah, the scene lost their mind over just that, and that was just a regular ass battle. Dude, they couldn't handle, 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Damn. Yeah, that's like
it was just a regular judge.
But that's how it was back then. Like I remember when we battled you guys, and then you guys won the jam, but then we still called the out. And we went a couple rounds. And I remember Bobby just goes, "Man, we already smoked you guys. You guys won. You just guys won." We're all like, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We already smoked you guys. I remember that time,
dude.
Funny.
But that's what it was about. It's exactly what it was about.
But you know what, man? Like I always say, you guys are a younger generation.
Yeah.
I mean, we had years of being in a position where we expected to be the winning crew. Mm-hmm. I don't care if Renegades are there. I don't care Headhunters or any great crew that are like really dope ass crews. Mm-hmm. And we didn't always win, but a lot of times we did. And I know those guys respect us, and likewise, I respect them a lot. So the thing is that that experience doesn't necessarily etch in stone that you guys couldn't come out and beat us. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, like, we did the same shit. We came out as this like new crew. It was more so my brothers and them in the beginning. But that was like what literally made us. Mm-hmm. So the same thing. It's like you guys had it in you to say call us out, and you probably
because we thought we won. And we're all like, we're gonna call him out. Let's see.
You probably knew based off the clout that we had a bigger fucking name
than you
guys at the time. So
of course.
The thing was like, but that was the fire in you, and that's part of your story of your coming up, and totally like that's straight up respect, bro. Like, yeah, like that's the kind of stuff I look at, and I'm like, okay, like it's something we do in competition. Yeah, we can do it for love too. But when we go to a competition, it's a competition. So if you got judges, and you're judging something, it's a competition. Like, it's no like, oh, well, like, I mean, I respect some of the shit that I see, and cool ideas. Like, for instance, I'm not going to critique but anyone's particular idea, but I've seen shit talking about like things like attitude and stuff like that being effective in terms of like who's gonna win or lose. I do agree that like you shouldn't be hitting nobody or doing no dumb shit like that. That's straight up disrespect. It's not like what this is about.
I agree.
But in terms of like if you're cocky or this or that, that's your personality. I mean, look, Lilu's cocky. I respect that guy.
Yeah.
He's dope, and he's still doing it.
But I'm gonna keep it 100,
it's
man.
his style.
I want to keep it 100. That guy bit all Benji stuff. Let's keep it 100.
Not all of it.
Yeah, I have to watch. Like I said, he's his own character.
But hey, I'm not hating on dude. But
he did.
I'm
like,
dude, I don't know.
I don't know.
Hey,
some stuff looks similar, but also freaking some stuff of Benji's looks similar to like Exuberance.
Say rubber legs.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, rubber legs.
Rubber legs is fucking kill.
Dude, I don't know.
And I heard. I
let's see them battle. Just battle.
Yeah. I know they should battle.
But if it is a bite, that I don't think it's wrong. I think it's cool. That's another thing. Like,
I think they did
calling out bites. We used to call it bites. I think certain people like overdid it. But when we used to call it bites, it'd be something like blatant, like for real, like dude that jump on the feet routines DSD1. Mm-hmm. So like. That's something to throw that bite out.
Yeah,
I did it with Sky, so I'm DSD1 too. Woo!
Yeah, that's
me and him won a jam with it.
That's Quest crew thinking right there. You guys got a lease on it.
No, we were in the finals, and Paul was like, "Yo, I know how to win this shit. Just lay on the ground and do this, and stick your feet up. I'll do everything else." And I was like, "All right, word, I got you."
Yo, the strategizing would be so fun.
It was literally right.
Did you guys learn that from Abe? Because I think Abe had a lot of that, bro. Like he was super strong.
They were doing it before.
Oh, yeah?
I think before Flex for sure. I mean, you guys,
Wait, are you saying? Oh no, dude. We got in Flex. We used to beat them. Like that was a routine that was used to beat them for years.
Yeah.
We got in
Because
Flex.
Flex used to not do routines, and then when you guys got in, they started doing
No,
routines.
Flex was always doing routines.
Yeah?
They did routines.
Yeah,
They
Flex
did
was
routines.
always doing
They did
routines.
different. They had a different approach to it. Yeah, they had more of like a. I don't even want to call it fundamental because I don't even think like routines were necessarily like some fundamental thing. You're watching Beat Street.
It was more of like some top rocks and some footwork type of routines, a little couple tricks.
Type of like.
Yeah.
Your
get
guys'
down.
routines were like Paul would run up, grab a hand, fucking flip around, do a backflip or whatever, and catch a freaking freeze. You know what I mean? Like it was some crazy shit, or just like lay on the ground and throw somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't some top rock routine, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, it's like all that shit stems.
Or throw a
from
little Aaron
everything I
and
just said.
spin and then land.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's. I'm not gonna go on that. That's a you know
Top 10 crashes of all time.
hard. Well, that's my brother, man. I mean, I consider.
No,
my
he's
brother.
dope. That guy. Hey,
Yeah.
Everyone who jumps on their head wouldn't do it if it wasn't for that guy.
Well, that's a point. Like, so there was a post the other day that saying, well, there's been some controversy over, say, the head flip,
yeah.
and that post was also posted with Crumbs.
Hmm.
You remember Crumbs did the front head flip. He was the first one I saw ever do that.
Yeah,
breaking.
probably.
Now, sure, there's a video. He even posted.
I mean, there was monks, Shaolin
Yeah,
monks,
monks
and
were
shit
doing that.
They were also doing the back head flip that little Aaron was doing as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But in the B-boy scene, Little Aaron was the first one.
And also on top of that, if you recall the prelims or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't seen anyone do this. But like to do like a back head flip, but land straight in a head spin drill.
That's
He
crazy.
did that at San Francisco out prelims.
I don't think I've seen. I don't.
It's-
I don't
He
think
has
I've
some
seen
crazy
It's
ass.
on there. I'll send you the
That.
concepts.
Little Aaron is.
But
Dope.
yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. The swing through flip, you know, like holding on his hands and then swinging his legs through on the other side. And
Oh,
then
yeah, yeah,
jumping
yeah.
up
I
and
do
landing on
remember
your
that.
head and doing it again. Like that was done in like 2002.
Yeah.
Like who's doing
I don't know who. I don't think anyone could do that now. Maybe.
exposure is a funny thing because it's like it'd be like people don't believe in themselves and then they get exposed to someone and then like the whole scene is like now Atom Bomb's taking the back head flip and Omar. It's like everybody just thought of the same move that you can't come up with no new moves. Everyone just thought of the same move once they're exposed to it. But I think it's like a lot of people just don't believe it's possible and then they see shit or they get influenced and they bite.
Yep.
Now you can flip, and sure, people will buy it. But at the end of the day, do I look at like say, I think for instance I mentioned Atom Bomb. I think he's a
That's from United
dope-
B-Boys.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a dope ass b-boy. He was physical, like physically, he could do a lot of shit. That guy was
That
dope.
that 90 move he used to do where he did a body thread
Oh,
as he
yeah,
jumped.
that's
That is
crazy.
an insane move.
That guy was
Jesus Christ.
dope. Like I can't,
Yeah.
you can't take nothing from the guy. He's fucking dope.
Yeah.
But when he did the back head flip, I've done the back head flip. Like, shit,
I can do it too.
Pretty good.
I think you taught me how to
We
do
can
it.
all do it.
I would
Probably-
never do it in a
oh.
battle though.
yeah.
I get broke off.
I mean, I don't even believe I did ask. I was like, Aaron, I did it when we got to Flex Wave. I did it against them. I
Oh,
did
really?
a different version of
Oh,
it.
okay.
But still, I was like, Aaron, can I do your move?
Hey, let me borrow that move real quick.
Can I borrow
Yeah,
it?
because I remember you started you used to do it with yeah
Yeah, but
now,
I'd have a different version. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd lay on my back and go from like this weird transition and then like, and I'd even do that shit and go back to my feet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's still I recognize where it's
Yeah.
inspired from.
and that's what should be about. You should see a move, inspire it, and flip it. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. So like, yeah, when I see like people just like do something, not give credit to it, and then also like claim that it's theirs, that's where I see it as like a thing.
That is the big problem, I think. Like, honestly, I don't even care if people bite me. As long as they go, oh, I bit this from Kurt. I'm like, cool, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I
just-
barely
yeah.
battle at this point. So, like, what the hell? You're using this for good? Hey, cool. But fucking at least tell them where it came from.
Yeah. or just don't claim it's yours. Like, I mean, even at that point, it's like, but like when, for instance, when Quest Crew went on ABDC and they did like the jump on the feet routine, or they did the hand slide over the person and stuff like that. That's all like bitten off of my crew. Like there was a shit ton of stuff bitten on my crew in that. And that is seen as being like this cutting edge original thing of theirs.
Yeah, that's the
viewers,
problem.
And it's not.
Yeah,
and that's what's fucked up.
That is the problem, yeah.
But I think this dance is gonna, in the future, this might sound crazy, but you know how we had basic 6 steps and then it went to blow ups. I think in the future, like one-handed air flares are gonna be foundation because it's gonna evolve so much that even the moves that we did now, it's gonna be like, oh, that's just fundamental moves because it's gonna.
Yeah.
So we need to make NFTs of our moves. Right.
Well,
Yep, that's probably the future. So you wanna check real quick and we'll
Dictate.
but if you have space.
No, yeah, because it keeps turning off.
I think it keeps overheating or some shit.
That's what it is
That's
then?
what was happening last time. Yeah, that's what Quan was telling me. Yeah, just turn it back on. Yeah, we're hitting like an hour, so we could probably close this out pretty soon.
Yeah,
you want to talk about more stuff? I don't know.
I got some other stuff if you want.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, actually, what did you want to talk about?
Well, I have something to build off what he was just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Moves and turning into foundation.
Hazel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What were you saying?
Okay. So yeah, no, I was saying yeah, so you were saying moves turning into foundation.
Yeah.
I personally, I think that's kind of what I've seen anyways.
Yeah.
It's always
You think about it.
Like if you think about way in the future, that's a trip just to think about that, what the future is going to be.
But look at the past.
Yeah.
Look at today. Today's the future of that, and
Exactly.
it's all there. What I'd love to see is how people are like growing and building upon that. And if they're doing some of the same stuff, but what I get from it, sure, I'm just like another dancer. But we tend to be like probably the biggest group or whatever of fans to the dance, opposed to like people that are just like randomly just like, oh, I'm gonna watch breakdancing. It's usually like the dancers or people that are exposed to dancers that become like fans of even checking it out. So that's why
the grandmas don't give a fuck.
It's like everyone in the crowd, 90% of the crowd is a dancer.
Yeah, for sure.
So
They understand it a little bit.
yeah, and they appreciate and value what they see, or they hate on it. And at the end of the day, though, like if somebody does something that I know is like not only unoriginal, but I've seen it. It's not cutting edge. It's not built up to be anything like. It's just usually, typically 9 times out of 10, the shit be like boring to me. The only thing a person can do to like doctor or make that better and actually make it dope is that's where that energy thing comes into play. Now that's something different. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, if we're just talking about like what a move is in itself, that's just got to be really, really, really dope nowadays to like be even consider like something that's going to make me turn my head like, oh shit.
You see people doing incredible stuff, man.
I do. Yeah. I see some like, whoa, like
I see some dude go up doing crickets or I don't know, jackhammers. Then he goes up and he does an air flare with one hand and catches it back.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Freakazoid from Freak Show.
Yeah.
This
That guy's crazy.
motherfucker-
Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to Freakazoid. And him and his brother are doing the UFC or
Yeah.
fighting and stuff. And props to them.
Brazilian
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah.
Yeah.
10th Planet, San Diego, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, props to that. This motherfucker would set his chin on the ground, wind up, and spun on his chin.
Oh yeah, I remember
seen
that.
that.
That was crazy.
That is some wild shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Their whole crew had some crazy stuff, dude.
Holy shit.
I was like,
I
what?
mean, so how far can we really go? We got to start flying or some shit, dude.
I mean, Freakazoid
the limit's been pushed
put
a lot.
his foot behind his head and spun on his foot. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
I've seen
yeah, I remember that
that was
too.
some crazy shit, too.
Yeah, it's been some nutty shit.
Yeah.
I mentioned when with the back head flip thing.
Yeah.
And crumbs. So few people had like were the first adopters of like doing that move after Aaron. Crumbs battled Benji. Remember Benji knocked himself out. He get into the Lotus and he knocked himself out in the battle.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Man, but that was pretty. When you think about it, that was pretty rough. Like that was a pretty raw concept because you don't get to break your fall. But fuck, dude. Like, yeah.
There's been some crazy crashes in the past.
When you think about like how much shit we've done as like breakers, this is where I go back. Like last part, I can wrap up on this. As much as we could have our adversity, things that we push each other, however we view breaking, some people can think fundamental or think like me or whoever, right? But we all are a part of and etched in our own stone, like in this culture. Mm-hmm. Like this is the overall. Mm-hmm. And I think about how much shit, and maybe some people do less, do more, but we've all paid that $10, $50 or whatever it was to get in that jam. No, we were just gonna break for 8 hours, burn ourselves the fuck out. And half the time when we were winning, it meant everybody else wasn't winning. They were just there to support. I love this fucking culture, dude. Like, I mean, it really is like there's a lot of love in it, and it's hard to like have much hate for a person that's only supported something. Mm-hmm. I can disagree with certain things, and I've been open here today about some of those main things. But like, at the end of the day, like it's not even a hate move. It's just like a fucking like we approach it how we do, and we put the input that we can. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's your time span, your time stamp that you put.
Yeah, the way I always put it is like, you know, we have our rivalries between ourselves, but at the end of the day, we're all like rolling on the same floor together. We all love the same thing.
Yeah.
So why not, you know, why not support each other as well? You know, the rivalries are good because that helps us build our skills. But like at the end of the day, there's no way I'm going to leave this event or leave this scene and go like, I hate those guys. You know?
I can argue. Oh, my bad.
No, go on.
I feel bad though for cutting you off.
No, that's cool.
All right. I could
cut
argue,
him off. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, cut me off.
I could argue with my own brother, and then I still love my brother.
Yeah, for sure.
I can argue with somebody that's not my family, but somebody that supports something that I love, like this passion here. And in the end of the day, I mean, sure, like I said, I don't agree with shit that's personal. I mean, I've had personal shit with you guys, for instance. But here I am, like, and it's love and it's respect.
Yeah.
I never had like much with personal shit with you, though.
Well, fuck
like,
you. We're starting.
I never had really that, but some of the crew members definitely we've been.
Yeah, no, there was definitely some stuff.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like it's just respect, man. Like, I mean, I just it doesn't matter how good a person is or how advanced they got or whatever else. At the end of the day, we all know what it's like to sacrifice just to fucking be there. So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I think we're all human, man. And that's really what it is. And people don't, sometimes I know people get involved and emotions get involved, but we're just human. And we're here to do the same thing, express our heart and hopefully inspire someone. I think that's the main objective of what this dance is really about. It's to inspire and give other people what you taught and what people taught you. And hopefully in the future, they could branch that and create it their own. So
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
So like as the topic goes here, and it's like, it's all hugs and love and shit. And that's dope. I think the importance of having different dynamics, whether it's going to war or whatever else, is because like in our lives as it is, aside from this and what we support, this is our way. This is just another way of expression for us in our lives that we really like. So like, but we live different lives. So it's like for somebody who lives, let's say, coming out of maybe Boss Tracks in Stockton or like somewhere like living in like a hood situation, and it's not like a fun environment to always be around. Or maybe it's not that bad. I mean, it all depends on how a person like perceives it. But if they're expressing back that honest thing, if they're expressing where they come from, that's all the flavors that you get to see if it's real. That's where my respect level goes higher for someone versus somebody that like just sees somebody from there, goes, oh, that's dope, let's take. That's why I don't respect people that bite off me, because they'll never know why that move actually existed in the first place.
That's deep. What's up, man?
Damn. Well, that's a deep way to end the show. You got anything else to say? Where can people find you?
I'm good. Oh, IZTDB if you want.
It's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Dance band. You know, check out his music. He's dope. Freaking, and he's dope piano player, man. Really dope. Well, shoot. Any last remarks?
Nah, man, this has been fun. Well, yeah, it's been very fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
you got
thank
a
you
really
for
nice
coming,
home,
man.
I like this place.
It's all right.
Much respect to you guys. Yeah, this has been fun.
Yeah,
Sure, man.
it.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for
my
coming,
pleasure.
man. Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
was dope. I think hopefully people enjoy this one.
No, I just wanted to, one last thing is I wanted to give a shout out to one of the dopest B-boys that I've ever known. He was one of the most inspirational people that I ever met. He was always pushing, and he was one of those people to push to like anything I ever did. He was, you know, it'd be dope if you did that. You did that more. Like he always had something that, but my homie, my friend, my brother, Khalid, who passed away. I want to give a shout out. I love that dude till the end, and it's really important. Yeah, I gotta mention him for sure.
Yeah,
that's my.
And
brother.
shout out to Gerald too, man. Exactly how you explained that. That's how he made me felt when I met him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So everybody really, but yeah, like those people, pinpoint those people right now.
for
Like,
sure.
Yeah, they were so dope. So, all right, that's all.
Yeah.
all right, bro. Thanks
Cool.
for
Yeah.
coming out,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry, this show sucks. Peace.
We out.